All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses nation on the occasion of 400th Prakash Parv of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji at Red Fort in New Delhi. Says India is moving ahead on the ideals of Sikh Gurus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with his British counterpart Boris Johnson in New Delhi today. Two leaders to review implementation of Roadmap 2030 and set their vision for further intensifying cooperation. India condemns US Congresswoman Ilham Umar's visit to Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, describes it as narrow-minded politics. 4 terrorists, including a Lashkar-e-Taiba commander, killed in an encounter with security forces in Baramulla district of Jammu and Kashmir. Precaution dose of COVID vaccine to be available free of cost at government vaccination centres in Delhi from today for all aged between 18 and 59 years. Dozens of people killed or injured in 4 explosions across Afghanistan. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings beat Mumbai Indians by 3 wickets in Mumbai. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India is not just a country but a great heritage and a great tradition, and everyone should be proud of the country's identity. He said India has never posed a threat to any country or society, and even today it thinks about the welfare of the whole world. Last night, Prime Minister participated in the celebrations of the 400th Prakash Purab of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji at the Red Fort in New Delhi. Mr. Modi also released a commemorative coin and a postage stamp on the occasion. Union Culture Minister G. Kishan Reddy and Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri were present on the occasion. While addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said, India keeps in mind the progress of the whole world when it talks about the self-reliant country. He said that efforts have to be made to build a self-reliant India on the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav so that the world can see the potential of the country. Mr. Modi said when the country will celebrate 100 years of independence, a new India will be in front of us. Remembering the contributions made by the 10 Sikh Gurus, the Prime Minister said they made power a medium of service. He said, today, the country is moving ahead on the ideals of the Sikh Gurus.
आजाद हिंदुस्तान, अपने फैसले खुद करने वाला हिंदुस्तान, लोकतांत्रिक हिंदुस्तान, दुनिया में परोपकार का संदेश पहुंचाने वाला हिंदुस्तान। ऐसे हिंदुस्तान के सपने को पूरा होते देखने के लिए कोटि-कोटि लोगों ने खुद को खपा दिया। ये भारत भूमि सिर्फ एक देश ही नहीं है, बल्कि हमारी महान विरासत है, महान परंपरा है। इसे हमारे ऋषियों, मुनियों, गुरुओं ने सैकड़ों हजारों सालों की तपस्या से सींचा है, उसके विचारों से समृद्ध किया है। इसी परंपरा के सम्मान के लिए, उसकी पहचान की रक्षा के लिए 10 गुरुओं ने अपना जीवन समर्पित कर दिया था।
Mr. Modi said Guru Nanak Dev Ji united the whole of India in one thread. The Prime Minister said the Red Fort has been a witness to many important periods and it has also seen the martyrdom of Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji.
ये लाल किला कितने ही अहम कालखंडों का साक्षी रहा है। इस किले ने गुरु तेग बहादुर साहब की शहादत को भी देखा है और देश के लिए मर मिटने वाले लोगों के हौसले को भी परखा है। आज देश आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव को और गुरु तेग बहादुर साहब के 400वें प्रकाश पर्व को एक साथ मना रहा है, एक जैसे संकल्पों के साथ मना रहा है।
Pointing out the religious fanaticism during the period of Mughal ruler Aurangzeb, Mr. Modi said at that time there was a storm of religious fanaticism in the country. He said there were people in the past who considered religion as a matter of philosophy, science and self-research, and there were others who had committed violence and atrocities in the name of religion. Mr. Modi said, in front of Aurangzeb's tyrannical thinking at that time, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji stood like a rock.
हमारी महान संस्कृति की रक्षा के लिए गुरु तेग बहादुर जी का बलिदान कितना बड़ा था। उस समय देश में मजहबी कट्टरता की आंधी आई। धर्म को दर्शन, विज्ञान और आत्मशोध का विषय मानने वाले हमारे हिंदुस्तान के सामने ऐसे लोग थे जिन्होंने धर्म के नाम पर हिंसा और अत्याचार की पराकाष्ठा कर दी। उस समय भारत को अपनी पहचान बचाने के लिए एक बड़ी उम्मीद गुरु तेग बहादुर साहब के रूप में दिखी थी।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold bilateral talks with his United Kingdom counterpart Boris Johnson in New Delhi today. The Prime Ministers will review the implementation of the Roadmap 2030 and set their vision for further intensifying cooperation across the full spectrum of bilateral ties. They will also exchange views on regional and global issues of mutual interest. Mr. Johnson will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan this morning, following which the visiting dignitary will lay a wreath at the Samadhi of Mahatma Gandhi. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will also call on the visiting dignitary. Our correspondent reports that this is his maiden visit to India as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
India and the United Kingdom enjoy a long and historical relationship which was elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership during the India-UK Virtual Summit last year. The multifaceted relationship spans across trade and economy, health, science and technology, defense and security, climate change and close cooperation on multilateral issues. Merchandise trade between the two countries stood at $15.45 billion in 2019-20 with a trade balance in favor of India. UK is the sixth largest investor in India after Mauritius, Singapore, Netherlands, Japan and US. UK is among the favored destinations for Indian students to pursue higher education. More than 50,000 Indian students are currently studying in the UK. With Dipendra Kumar, Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
Mr. Johnson arrived in Ahmedabad yesterday on a two-day visit to India. He had a packed day of engagements in Ahmedabad yesterday. The British Prime Minister visited Sabarmati Ashram and paid rich tributes to Father of the Nation Mahatma Gandhi. He also tried his hand on Charkha, the spinning wheel. India has condemned US Congresswoman Ilhan Omar's visit to Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. External Affairs Ministry spokesman Arindam Bagchi described her visit as narrow-minded politics.
Representative Ilhan Omar, Congresswoman, we have noted that she has visited a part of the Indian Union territory of Jammu and Kashmir that is currently illegally occupied by Pakistan. If such a politician wishes to practice her narrow-minded and politics at home, that may be her business. But violating our territorial integrity and sovereignty in its pursuit makes this ours, and we think the visit is condemnable.
Mr. Bagchi also informed that approval has been conveyed to Japan for picking up humanitarian supplies for Ukraine and its neighboring countries from United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR depot in Mumbai using commercial aircraft. Japan had earlier requested permission to land in Mumbai to pick up the humanitarian supplies. He said India had also processed and approved, as per the established norms, requests for overflight clearance for Japanese SDF aircraft carrying humanitarian cargo for Ukraine.
In Jammu and Kashmir, security forces have achieved a major success by neutralizing 4 terrorists, including a dreaded one belonging to Lashkar-e-Taiba. They were killed in an encounter at Malwa area in Baramulla district. The slain dreaded terrorist has been identified as Yusuf Kantru, who was among the top 10 most wanted terrorists. We spoke to J&K DGP Dilbagh Singh about the encounter.
बारामूला जिला के मलवाल गांव में पिछले 2 दिन से ऑपरेशन जो जारी पुलिस की इत्तला पर हुआ था, उसमें अभी तक 4 आतंकी मारे गए हैं। मारे गए आतंकियों में सबसे कुख्यात आतंकी यूसुफ कांतरू भी शामिल है। उसके 2 और साथी जिसमें फैसल और हिलाल करके हैं, उनके भी मारे जाने की खबर है। इसके साथ साथ फॉरेन टेररिस्ट जिसकी पहचान अभी नहीं हुई है, उसका भी मारे जाने का खबर है। ऑपरेशन अभी भी जारी है। काफी बड़ी तादाद में असला और अम्नीशन ऑपरेशन की जगह से पकड़ा गया है।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah is arriving in Bhopal today on a day-long visit. Mr. Shah will inaugurate the 48th All India Police Science Congress at the Central Police Training Academy, Bhopal. He will also attend many other programs, including the Conference of Forest Committees. Union Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan, will also attend the event. More details from our Bhopal correspondent.
Director of Central Police Training Academy, Pawan Srivastava, told AIR that more than 100 officers will participate in this 2-day conference organized by the Bureau of Police Research and Development under the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Police state subject होता है और इस कारण से सभी स्टेट्स को एक साथ एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे लेकर के आने का ये कार्यक्रम वार्षिक स्तर पे हम लोग करते हैं और इस वर्ष बड़ा गर्व और हर्ष है कि केंद्रीय पुलिस प्रशासन अकादमी भोपाल में प्रशिक्षण अकादमी के अंदर इसका आयोजन हो रहा है.
Shri Shah will also attend the conference of forest committees and dividend distribution program to the Tendupatta collectors at Jamburi Maidan in Bhopal. The Union Home Minister will also start the process of transformation from forest village to revenue village. The program will be broadcast in more than 15,000 villages of the state. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Defence Minister Rajnath Singh reiterated that disengagement and de-escalation is the way forward along the northern borders. Mr. Singh expressed full confidence that while troops are standing firm, the ongoing talks for peaceful resolution will continue. Mr. Singh was speaking at the Army Commanders Conference being held in New Delhi yesterday. Mr. Singh stated that unconventional and asymmetric warfare, including hybrid war, will be part of the future wars. Referring to the situation along the western borders, he complimented the Army's response to cross-border terrorism. However, the proxy war by the adversary continues. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will inaugurate Dev Connect 2.0, organized by Innovations for Defence Excellence Defence Innovation Organisation, IDEX-DO, in New Delhi today. The event will attract a large number of innovators and investors from countries' leading industries in the defence sector. It will include sessions with stalwarts of the industry, various announcements and static exhibitions of an array of startups supported by IDEX-DIO. The DevConnect will provide a unique opportunity for innovators associated with IDEX-DIO to showcase their capabilities, products and state-of-the-art technologies to the target audience of the industry leaders. The startups get to leverage this opportunity to generate investments and leads for future operations. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses nation on the occasion of 400th Prakash Parv of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji at Red Fort in New Delhi. Says India is moving ahead on the ideals of Sikh Gurus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with his British counterpart Boris Johnson in New Delhi today. Two leaders to review implementation of Roadmap 2030 and set their vision for further intensifying cooperation. India condemns US Congresswoman Ilham Umar's visit to Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, describes it as a narrow-minded politics. 4 terrorists, including a Lashkar-e-Taiba commander, killed in an encounter with security forces in Baramulla district of Jammu and Kashmir. Precaution doses of COVID vaccine to be available free of cost at government vaccination centres in Delhi from today for all aged between 18 and 59 years. Dozens of people killed or injured in 4 explosions across Afghanistan. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings beat Mumbai Indians by 3 wickets in Mumbai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब. आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख.
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प.
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग.
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता.
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर.
8700014242.
Welcome back to the morning news. The Delhi government has said that precaution dose for COVID will be available free to all eligible beneficiaries aged between 18 and 59 years in all government vaccination centres. All those who are more than 18 years of age and have completed 9 months after the administration of second dose will be eligible for the precautionary dose. In a statement, the government said the provision of paid precaution dose in private COVID vaccination centres will also continue. It said necessary changes in COVID have been made for Delhi, where both online and walk-in appointment will be available. Recently, the Union Health Ministry had launched administration of precaution dose to 18-plus population through private vaccination centres. India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed the 187 crore 24 lakh mark. Health and Family Welfare Ministry said that more than 16,12,000 vaccine doses were administered yesterday. The ministry said more than 2 crore 74 lakh vaccine doses have been administered to the 12 to 14 years age group so far. Over 2 crore 61 lakh precaution doses have been administered to the identified categories of beneficiaries, including healthcare workers, frontline workers, and people above 18 years of age.
Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has said that the government has constituted an expert committee to probe several mishaps involving electric two-wheelers which have come to light in the last 2 months. He said the expert committee will make recommendations on remedial steps. Mr. Gadkari said, based on the reports, the government will issue necessary orders on the defaulting companies and will also issue quality-centric guidelines for electric vehicles. He was addressing the American Chamber of Commerce in India's 30th AGM on transforming to seamless supply chain, digitization and multimodal connectivity virtually. Mr. Gadkari said if any company is found negligent in their processes, a heavy penalty will be imposed and a recall of all defective vehicles will also be ordered. He said companies may take advance action to recall all defective batches of vehicles immediately. He said it is unfortunate that some people have lost their lives and several have been injured in these incidents. And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
On the 22nd of April 1930, revolutionary freedom fighters battled the British forces in the Jalalabad hills near Chittagong.
Breaking the myth that the British were invincible, Master Surya Sen, with his team of revolutionaries, liberated his hometown from British rule. On the night of 18th of April 1930, Surya Sen and his Indian Republican Army attacked the British strongholds and captured them, thus almost effectively paralyzing the British administration in Chittagong.
A team led by Anantlal Singh and Ganesh Ghosh, along with Master, captured the reserve police lines at Dampara. On the other hand, a team led by Ambika Chakravarti and a woman revolutionary, Preetilata Vaddedar, cut off the telegraph and telephone lines. Thus, the communication of Chittagong was severed from the rest of India.
Another team, led by young Jugantar member Lal Mohan Sen, uprooted the Nangal-Kot railway line, effectively destroying chances of any source of help for the British forces. Master and his fellow revolutionaries then assembled at the reserve police lines and hoisted the Indian flag, declaring the formation of a provisional revolutionary government. Thus, Chittagong was free for 4 days from the British Raj.
But soon, the British sent reinforcement by road. In the ensuing battle, many revolutionary freedom fighters were martyred, including Harigopal, Bidhu Bhattacharya, Nirmal Lala, Naresh Rai and Prabhash Bal. Ambika Chakravarti and Binod Bihari Chaudhary were gravely injured. General Loknath, like a wounded tiger, exhorted his comrades, "Fire until the machine guns are completely silent."
The brave sons of the soil fought an honourable battle to the last. The saga of the revolutionaries could be summarized in the lines of the famous poet Faiz Ahmed Faiz.
जिस धज से कोई मक्तल में गया वो शान सलामत रहती है, ये जान तो आनी जानी है, इस जान की तो कोई बात नहीं.
22nd April is also the death anniversary of freedom fighter Bishambar Dayal, who died in 1931.
Bishambar Dayal was born in Alwar district of Rajasthan in 1893. Right from his initial days, he was committed to the national cause, and that is why he didn't marry in his lifetime. At a young age of 19 years, Bishambar entered into the revolutionary freedom movement to free the motherland from the shackles of British tyranny.
He was also involved in bombing Viceroy Hastings in Delhi in 1912. Because of this incident, Bishambar came into the eyes of the British government.
Bishambar became a member of the Revolutionary Socialist Party and came into contact with Chandrasekhar Azad and Bhagat Singh. It was during this period Chandrasekhar Azad visited Bishambar Dayal and learned bomb making and other activities from him.
He was planning to rescue Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru, but before any plan could be implemented, Bishambar was arrested. He was tried in the Delhi conspiracy case and sent to jail. In jail, he was tortured and he succumbed to his injuries on the 22nd of April 1931. AIR News pays tribute to the brave son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that the latest IMF growth projection for India during 2022-23 is 8.2%, which is the fastest among major economies in the world. Addressing the plenary meeting of the International Monetary and Financial Committee of the IMF in Washington, D.C. yesterday, Ms. Sitharaman said India has continued to implement key structural reforms aimed at enhancing productivity and employment. In the backdrop of the emerging challenges, Ms. Sitharaman said that the global economy may witness some growth deceleration. At least 31 people were killed and 87 wounded in 4 explosions across Afghanistan yesterday. The first explosion tore through a Shia Muslim mosque in Mazar-e Sharif. The attack on the mosque was carried out using a remotely detonated booby-trapped bag when it was packed with worshippers, according to officials. The Islamic State group, or IS, have claimed responsibility for the blast and admitted carrying out the attacks. The group called the attack part of an ongoing global campaign to avenge the deaths of its former leader and spokesman. ISIS has also claimed responsibility for another blast yesterday, which saw a vehicle blown up near a police station in Kunduz, leaving 4 dead and 18 injured. There were also reports of a Taliban vehicle being hit by a roadside mine in eastern Nangarhar province, killing 4 Taliban members and wounding a 5th.
Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan once again praised India's foreign policy over importing oil from Russia, saying that New Delhi's decision is for the betterment of its people. Speaking at a rally in Lahore, Mr. Khan said that India, which is a strategic partner to the United States, is importing oil from Russia, saying that its decisions are based on the betterment of Indian people. Pakistan's foreign policy is for the betterment of other people. In IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings defeated Mumbai Indians by 3 wickets at the D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai last night. Chasing a target of 156 runs set by Mumbai Indians, Chennai Super Kings overhauled the target, scoring 156 runs in the stipulated 20 overs for the loss of 7 wickets. Earlier, Chennai Super Kings won the toss and chose to field. With this loss, 5-time IPL champions Mumbai Indians became the first team to lose their first 7 matches in an Indian Premier League season. Today, Delhi Capitals will take on Rajasthan Royals at Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai at 7:30 p.m. In the Santosh Trophy football final group encounter, Karnataka defeated defending champion Services 1-0 in a Group B clash of the 75th National Football Championship at the Manjeri Payanad Stadium in Malappuram last evening. Karnataka, with 2 wins under their belt, will face Manipur next in their bid to qualify for the semi-finals. Services will be hoping to make amends and get their campaign back on track in their next encounter against Odisha on Monday. Earlier, Manipur beat Gujarat by 2 goals to nil at the Kotapadi Stadium.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast for the day. National capital Delhi may have partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 24, while maximum is expected to be around 39 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a mainly clear sky. Temperature will hover between 25 and 38 degrees Celsius. Chennai is likely to have a partly cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between 27 and 35 degrees Celsius. Kolkata is likely to have rain or thunder showers with strong gusty winds. Minimum temperature was 26, while maximum will be around 34 degrees Celsius. Srinagar will have thunderstorm with rain. Temperature will hover between 10 and 20 degrees Celsius. Jammu is expected to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Minimum temperature was 23, while maximum will be around 38 degrees Celsius. Leh will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Minimum temperature was 5, while maximum will be around 17 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Temperature will hover between 14 and 29 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Minimum temperature was 17, while maximum will be around 32 degrees Celsius. Visakhapatnam will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The temperature will hover between 28 and 34 degrees Celsius. Hyderabad will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Temperature will vary between 25 and 39 degrees Celsius. Bengaluru will have a partly cloudy sky. Temperature will vary between 22 and 35 degrees Celsius. Thiruvananthapuram will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature was 26, while maximum will be around 34 degrees Celsius. Guwahati will have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 21 and 31 degrees Celsius. Imphal is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was 17, while maximum will be around 27 degrees Celsius. Shillong will have a generally cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 12 and 22 degrees Celsius. Aizawl is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 16 and 29 degrees Celsius. Kohima will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was 13, while maximum will be around 25 degrees Celsius. Itanagar will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Temperature will hover between 16 and 32 degrees Celsius. Gangtok will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was 13, while maximum will be around 21 degrees Celsius. And Agartala will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 33 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Papers have widely noticed PM's address on Prakash Parv. PM leads tributes to Guru Tegh Bahadur, writes Hindustan Times. All dailies have also noticed Boris Johnson's visit. The Asian Age headlines: Boris offers $1 billion in deals. Delhi talks with PM today. The paper also carries a picture of the UK PM trying his hands on a spinning wheel at the Sabarmati Ashram. With increased presence of electric vehicles on Indian roads, the Business Standard writes early EV adoption, lowering prices on government's agenda. On the Russia-Ukraine conflict, the Pioneer headlines: Putin says Mariupol liberated, Ukraine scoffs at win claim. With COVID cases again rising, the Asian Age reports COVID tally is rising to 2,380 cases, 56 die in the last 24 hours. And finally, the Times of India writes, panel OKs Corbevaxes for 5-11 age group, final nod soon.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses nation on the occasion of 400th Prakash Parv of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji at the Red Fort in New Delhi, says India is moving ahead on the ideals of Sikh Gurus. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with his British counterpart Boris Johnson in New Delhi today. The two leaders to review implementation of Roadmap 2030 and set their vision for further intensifying cooperation. India condemns US Congresswoman Ilham Umar's visit to Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, describes it as narrow-minded politics. 4 terrorists, including a Lashkar-e-Taiba commander, killed in an encounter with security forces in Baramulla district of Jammu and Kashmir. Precaution dose of COVID vaccine to be available free of cost at government vaccination centres in Delhi from today for all age between 18 and 59 years. Dozens of people killed or injured in 4 explosions across Afghanistan. And in IPL cricket, Chennai Super Kings beat Mumbai Indians by 3 wickets in Mumbai. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.